Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the gluten-free session. I am Ankur Bajaj, volunteer with NGFRC. It's a national gluten-free registry and certification organization. And today, I will be in conversation with one of the most prominent expert from the food technology industry, Shri Pradeep Chakravarti. Shri Chakravarti is a food technologist from Jadavpur University and have a rich experience of more than 35 years in food processing, quality control, project management, and export of processed food products, besides setting up of a food park. Shri Chakrabarti was director with FSSAI and he has written a number of technical articles on food safety and related topics for various national and international journals. He has translated he has translated Food Safety and Standard Act into Bengali as well. All India Food Processors Association conferred him AIFPA President Special Award for the year 2013. This reminds me a famous quote by American food professional and chef James Andrews Bird, and I quote, "Food is our common ground, a universal experience, and we all want this experience to be blissful. But what brings bliss to food? Let's unravel questions to such answers and begin today's session with Sri Chakravarti. Welcome to the session, sir. It's
Thank
our
you.
pleasure
Thank
to
you
have
for
you on the show.
inviting me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me in this session. Yeah, ask me
Uh,
any question on your topic. Yeah,
sure, sir. So I start with the first question. How are gluten-free food regulated these days?
yeah, because when this regulation was made by FSSAI, I was a director. So I handled this issue. And what is gluten actually? Let us first understand what is gluten actually. A few years back, there was a false propaganda against this Ashirvad Atta of ITC that they are selling plastic atta.
Okay.
So it was a very serious problem. It was a very serious problem. And they actually made some video also that someone is washing a small dough of atta in water, and after some time actually he was saying that it is only sticking, actually it is some kind of plastic.
Hmm.
So people also convinced that yes, it is this atta contains plastic, but it is not that actually. Because I also tried this in my house, and I have seen that once you clear this, wash it thoroughly in water, this dough actually everything will go, starch will go, and protein of wheat will remain there. Wheat flour will remain there, and this protein of wheat flour is actually gluten. So it is sticky, and it is a binding agent practically. So this is gluten. So gluten is nothing but protein. So this confusion was cleared, and this ITC regulatory head also uh, accepted this thing, and subsequently it never came up. So this gluten is actually is a group of seed storage proteins found in cereal grains. Strictly speaking, found in cereal grains, particularly wheat. It's a wheat protein actually, and gluten found in wheat, barley, and rye. It is found in wheat, barley, and rye. So if you use wheat, barley, or rye flour, then you will definitely find a gluten in it. In fact, FSSI also have the regulations of atta, maida, and semolina, and some other cereals also, a lot of products. And according to this regulation, this is regulation 2.4.1 of food products standards and food additives. Atta has been regulation of atta is there actually, and as per this regulation, this gluten content of atta should not be less than 6% on dry weight basis. So it must have more than 6% gluten in atta, and in maida actually it is 7.5%, and in semolina also it is 6.5%. So when you are using wheat flour or this atta, maida, and semolina, you are definitely getting gluten, because as per our regulation, actually it cannot be less than 6% gluten. So more than actually how this when this regulation was made, actually we have made three types of gluten free. One is actually when the gluten content is less than or equal to 20 milligram per kg, then actually we used to call it gluten free. But if the gluten content is between 20 to 100 milligram per kg, then actually it was low gluten content, atta, maida, or whatever it is, low gluten content food. And then if it is more than 100 milligram per kg, then actually we used to call it actually high gluten. Subsequently, we have seen that the concern is only gluten. So because gluten is allergenic and it is dangerous for some population. Actually, it is something like lactose intolerant population. So we have also gluten intolerant population in our. So it has been found that actually more than 1 million people are suffering from celiac diseases in India, and treatment is a strict gluten-free diet. So only a gluten-free diet can help manage symptoms like diarrhea, wind, fatigue, osteoporosis, etc., which are associated with this celiac disease. So, barring gluten intolerant populations, product containing gluten like atta, maida, semolina are widely consumed in India, because only 1% population is gluten intolerant. So balance 99% are not gluten intolerant. So there is no harm. It is something like, actually I am diabetic patient, so I should not consume sugar. But those who do not have diabetes, they can easily consume sugar. So there is no harm in it. So similarly, if you are not a gluten intolerant population, then you can definitely consume atta, maida, roti, chapati is very popular and staple food in North India, particularly. So for them, actually, it is not a problem. Only the problem is with the population having who are actually gluten intolerant. Similarly, in case of milk, also we know that lactose intolerance is also there. So if you are lactose intolerant population, you should not consume milk. So, but that is also 1%. But in India, actually, 1% is also 1.3 crore. So it's a very big population. So as far as FSSI regulation, actually, I have said that atta, suji, and maida actually shall contain atta and suji shall not contain not less than 6% gluten, and for maida it is 7.5%. And FSSI started functioning on 5th August 2011, and there was no regulation of gluten-free foods. Subsequently, importance of gluten-free foods was realized by the FSSI and notified regulations for gluten-free foods. So we have notified it in the FSSI regulation, and the FSSI regulations are actually mandatory. So you have to comply with this regulation. If you want to sell it as gluten-free food, you have to declare it on the label that it is gluten-free food, and its gluten content should not be more than 20 milligram per kg. So all these things are available in our website, FSSI, www.fssi.gov.in. In case any gluten-free product is manufactured in a plant where gluten containing products are also manufactured, so this shall be declared on the label as processed in a plant where gluten containing products are manufactured. So this is done to avoid cross contamination of gluten-free food, because if you are using both gluten free and gluten containing food, actually there is chance of contamination and manufacturing, and it may come at any stage, actually, from manufacturing, processing, packaging, storage, and transportation. So you have to be very careful. Actually, it should be done, so this manufacturing should be done separately to avoid cross contamination, because and hotels and restaurants are also they are also encouraged to keep gluten free food option and provide gluten-free food on demand to the customers. So that is the directions to the hotels and restaurants. Actually, they should not use only gluten containing atta, maida and other products. So they have to keep this gluten-free products also for this population who are gluten intolerant.
Right.
And this consumers actually should read the label properly.
Hmm.
If they have any doubt, they should leave it out. Strictly, they should leave it out and report to the Food Safety Commissioner, Food Safety Department, because as per FSS Act, actually, we have one Food Safety Commissioner at every state and union territory.
Okay.
And their contact number and email ID are all available in our website, www.fssi.gov.in. And the consumers should inform to the Food Safety Commissioner or the concerned officer that this product is containing gluten, actually. So this is how gluten-free food is regulated by the FSSAI.
Wow. Well, that's good. That really helps to me. That really helped me to understand what is gluten-free. That's really helpful. Sir, I need a small request to you. You need to position your camera so that I can see your back on the back wall only. Can you put it somewhere with the support of some book or something like that?
Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm taking the help of my wife to hold it.
You can put a book. You can put a book.
I can put a book also, no?
Yeah. Just put a book behind it.
Acha, book.
Yeah, that's much better, sir.
It's better?
Yeah, much better. You can read it at the same time. I can,
And I'm audible also, no?
Yeah, you are very much audible. Now it's much better.
Yeah. Tell me next question.
Yeah. Are you comfortable now?
Yeah, I am comfortable.
Okay.
I'm comfortable.
Let's go to our next question. What is the difference between the gluten-free and gluten-friendly when we talk about these two terms?
Yeah, gluten-free I have already explained, and the regulation also I have explained. So gluten is actually practically wheat protein, and gluten-friendly actually is a new term used in some of the restaurants, because as I already said, that FSSAI direction to the hotels and restaurants is that they should allow the customers to get gluten-free food also. So gluten-friendly actually is a new term, and it implies that the food may not be entirely gluten-free, but it is prepared in the same kitchen as gluten-containing foods, but that it is okay for those with mild gluten sensitivities. If you have mild gluten sensitivities, then this gluten-friendly food will be of help to you. So since everyone is not familiar with this term, so it is a good idea to define it on the menu card, and also the service people actually who are serving this food, actually they should explain to the customer. Okay.
So sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
And gluten friendly.
The camera is moved. Yes, this is the question we need.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move to the next question. Does the packaging have to say gluten-free every time?
Yeah, actually, as per our regulation, you have to comply not only with the product standards, but also the packaging and labeling regulations. Actually, for any food products, actually, you have to comply with the packaging and labeling regulations. We have contaminants, toxins, and residue regulations, and also this product standards. So packaging and compliance of packaging and labeling regulation is mandatory. So you have to declare it gluten-free on the label, otherwise it will be treated as misleading. You are cheating the customers, actually. Yes. So it is mandatory as per our packaging and labeling regulations.
Okay. So what if company mentions gluten-free claim and during testing it is found contaminated?
Yeah. Actually, in our FSS Act 2006, there are so many provisions of penalty and punishment also. So as per section 53 of the Act, there is one provision misleading advertisements or misleading claim. So if you are selling gluten content, if you are selling product containing gluten and you are claiming it as gluten free, then it is definitely misleading claim, and you will be penalized for that, and penalty is 10 lakh rupees for the company. So company will be penalized for 10 lakh rupees.
Oh, huge.
So that provision is there in the act. Okay.
Sure. Uh, so would you like to share any recent updates in gluten-free regulation?
Yeah, actually, as I already said, that when this regulation was prepared, actually we have made three different categories. One is gluten free, one is low gluten, and one is high gluten. But subsequently, we have seen that there is no meaning of this low gluten or high gluten. So FSSI says that only this 20 milligram per kg gluten content should be declared, or below should be declared as gluten free. There is no question of keeping all these things low gluten or high gluten. And for the manufacturers, actually, they should have separate processing unit. Particularly, this is same with the health supplements and drug manufacturing also, because when this drug manufacturer started manufacturing health supplements, they used to manufacture in the same premises with the same machinery, but there is chances of cross contamination. So we have prescribed, we have issued the guidelines to the food business operators that their manufacturing unit should be different, and they have to take care of the cross flow of air also, because if the two units are side by side and there is no check of the cross flow of air, actually there is chances of contamination. So we have to avoid this thing. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So please move the camera again. Move the camera. Yeah. Yes. This is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So what is the level of awareness among industry on gluten-free regulation and infrastructure at their plants?
Yeah. This when this was implemented in by FSSI, actually this FSS Act was implemented by FSS on 5th August 2011. That time actually we had no regulation for this gluten free. So people used to at any you know that when we implement anything or we start doing anything, actually there is some teething problems. So during that time, actually this FSSI and state food safety situation was entirely different, but the situation has improved over the years. And now actually awareness has also increased, because FSSI spent a lot of money on awareness. Particularly, we made a joint program with CIA, we made joint program with PICI, and also we have this Eat Right India movement also campaign. So we spent a lot of money on it. So now the awareness, and even in Kerala, actually, you may be surprised that even the school students, actually, even the Chief Minister of Kerala, he also issued a cassette to all the schools, actually, particularly government schools, to spread the awareness among the population. And gluten-free is also one of the topic, actually.
Oh, that's good. So you have raised doubts over the surveillance mechanism, efficacy of the primary labs in the past. Do you see improvement in the awareness and the infrastructure now?
Actually, when we started functioning in FSSI on 5th August 2011, we had only 4 referral laboratories, standard laboratories in the country. These are actually Central Food Laboratory, Calcutta, Pune Research Laboratory, and Ghaziabad Research Laboratory, and CFTRI Mysore Laboratory. So we had only 4 referral laboratories. But as on today, actually, we have as many as 19 referral laboratories with modern equipments. And when we started, actually, we actually just did a nominal chemical test and microbiological test, but so many tests, particularly heavy metals, is an area of concern. So during that time, vitamins also. So nowadays, actually, we have as many as 19 laboratories in the country, which are NABL accredited and FSSI notified. So these 19 laboratories are actually FSSI notified referral laboratories. So they have better equipments. And when we started also primary laboratories, because before referral lab we have some primary laboratories also, and primary laboratories were very few. Actually, it was only 132 when we started, and now it is more than 250. So it is increasing. Actually, as per our mandate, actually, we initially thought that there should be at least one food testing laboratory in every district. Even Government of India, Ministry of Food Processing Industries also gave 50% subsidy on the lab equipments actually to set up laboratories. But we have seen that these are not spread throughout the country. So even in Maharashtra, Delhi, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu is well equipped, but most of the other states actually it has not been implemented uniformly. That is the problem actually with FSSAI, because some of the state governments actually have not taken it seriously. Though we have interacted with the food safety commissioners very frequently, even I myself also visited and met all the food safety commissioners. But the thing is actually they sometimes they say that they don't have money. Even FSSAI also spent money. Actually, we have spent at the rate of 10 crore rupees for 50 laboratories. 500 crores we have allotted to 50 different laboratories to upgrade the infrastructure. Because if you don't have the infrastructure, then there is no point. Even even Joint Parliamentary Standing Committee also recommended this thing. Actually, I was an invited member in the committee, and I also raised this issue, and they included all my suggestions in their report also. It was submitted before the Parliament on 7th of August 2018, and but the things are moving very slowly, not at a very fast pace. To be very frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this brings us to the end of the very interesting and educative session about gluten-free food by Mr. Sri Chakraborty. Sir, I would like to thank you for demystifying the concept for our viewers. And so as we have learned from Mr. Chakraborty, that government has been doing their job to make safe and food available to everyone. It is equally important and our responsibility to have a proactive approach towards the gluten-free diet. Let's have a gluten-free, healthy lifestyle. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.